Hello guys, happy Friday. Today is Friday, October 7th, and I'm going to be taking my 10 DPO pregnancy test. I have another of the easy at home pregnancy strips. It's actually tomorrow will be my last one of these. I have ran out, so I'm going to have to go ahead and buy a different test for the remainder of this cycle. Today's 10 DPO. I usually get AF around 14 DPO, although after my loss in April, sometimes I do notice that AF can come all the way up to 16 DPO, but for the most part I'm pretty consistent on 14 DPO. So at this point there is 4 days left for my period. I haven't had any major symptoms, just some slight cramping every now and then I'm noticing. Yesterday's test at 9 DPO was completely negative. As you saw, I didn't really see anything on that one. I do have it saved just in case I do get any type of line progression, but for the most part I didn't see anything on 9 DPO. So we're gonna go ahead and dip 10 DPO, see what happens today, and see if we see any slight hints of anything. All right, let's get this started. Open it up. These tests have been really good. I need to order them again. I just did not order them in time to continue them for this cycle. So tomorrow at 11 DPO will be my very last easy at home strip. I will be buying these again because they really gave me pretty accurate results, except for maybe one cycle where they were very wonky and very streaky and they didn't dry perfectly good. Except for that one weird cycle, overall they have been pretty consistent and they don't give me evap lines or false lines or anything like that. So I'm gonna let this sit for a whole 5 minutes. That's the only thing. These tests kind of take a little bit long to fully develop, so I like to give it 5 minutes and then we'll come back and see the results together and see if we see anything. While we wait for 10 DPO to finish going through, here is yesterday's 9 DPO. As you can see, it is clear as day. There is no hint or line or anything on this test. So 9 DPO was definitely completely negative. We have to keep in mind every pregnancy and every person is different. When I found out I was pregnant most recently in April, I tested at 14 DPO at some point midday and my line was almost non-existent. You can hardly see it from the camera, but I could see it in person. And that's how it was at 14 DPO. We all know how that went down, and unfortunately I ended up losing that pregnancy. But there are some people that don't show pregnancy lines until way later, after they've missed their period or after some time has went by. So if you're testing and you're getting closer to AF being due and you're getting worried because you don't see anything, just take a deep breath and don't worry about it. I mean, you will know eventually if AF arrives, but don't worry too much about the early testing and not seeing anything, because sometimes it's just impossible to see anything because your HCG just has not risen yet. So there's my 9 DPO test. Still got a little bit of time for this 10 DPO and then I'll come back. Alright, it should have been about 5 minutes. I have not looked at the test yet. So let me set the camera down so we can look at it together. Let's see, sometimes it needs a little help to focus. It looks like it's still going through a little bit, or maybe it'll just dry like this for this time. It looks a little streaky. I'm not seeing any line, but I will take a closer look too. But from the camera, I'm not seeing like an actual line running across from top to bottom. Just seeing the pink streak still trying to go through. Let me see it closer. No, there's no lines here, but I do want to give it a little bit longer. It looks like it's still trying to go through. So let me come back in 2 more minutes and then we'll see again, just to double check and make sure. I don't like when they do that, where the pink dye is still trying to go through and it's super cloudy and splotchy. So I'll wait till that goes through. I'll come right back. Alright guys, came back to check on it. It still doesn't seem to be going through, but at this point it's been over 5 minutes, so that's just how this test is going to be. But there's no lines where the line is supposed to be showing up at. There's just a horrible amount of dye just all throughout the test, which this has only really happened one other time with these tests, where it just seemed like it never really went through all the way. Alright, I came to start posting my video on YouTube and realized the whole end of the video, the audio was cut off. But I was just pretty much saying that this was a weird test. You can see the dye. It's just being very splotchy around the line area, but there's no definite line there. There's like little clouds and shadows of dye that just seem to be kind of stuck. But I'm not going to call this a positive or anything. I will call it a negative for today. And just wanted to thank you guys for continuing to watch, and make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you don't miss our next one. I'll be back tomorrow for 11 DPO, and I'll probably be trying out a different test. I have one more of these, but we'll see what I find at the store. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.